Hello guys, welcome to today's lecture. Today we're going to talk about linear regression. We're going to learn how to find the regression equation using TI-84 plus. We're going to interpret the slope and the y-intercept. We'll make scatter plots and make predictions using the equation that we are going to get. So if you look at this table, we have three variables. So we're going to find the equation using any two combination of variables. So we have weight, we have math test scores, and IQ. So we're going to enter these variables in our TI-84 plus and then run the equation, run the analysis. So we're going to go right to TI-84 plus and we're going to go to stats. If you notice, I've already entered the numbers or the variables in the table in TI-84 plus. L1 is the weight, L2 is the math test scores, and IQ is in L3. So this is easy. We're just going to compute the equation, and to do that we're going to go to start, we're going to go to calc, and we're going to select number 4 because we're talking about linear equation or linear regression. So we'll select number 4, and you can see that X list is L1, which is weight, Y list is L2, which is math test scores, and we're going to choose math test scores as our dependent variable. One thing we're going to do before we calculate is to go down to store regression equation and store our equation. The equation we're going to get, we're going to store it in Y1, so we don't have to type it in. So to do that, I go to vars, I go to yvars, I select function, and I select y1. So now any equation we get will go straight to y1. I'm going to show you that later. So now we are ready to calculate. So this is our equation. Y is equal to ax plus b. A is the slope, which is 0.178, and b is the y-intercept, which is a constant, which in this case doesn't really make any sense. I'm going to explain that later. So I'm going to write this here. We said our dependent variable is math test scores, and our independent variable is weight, which was in our L1. So the equation is going to be 0.178 rounding to 3 decimal places, x minus 5.645. Okay, so that's the equation. The slope is 0.1798, yes, 78, and the interpretation of the slope generally is talking about the average increase or change in the dependent variable as the independent variable changes by unit. Well, to do this more effectively, weight, I suppose we measure in pounds. Math test scores maybe it's a raw score, highest being 50. This is not a percent. So what we are saying is to interpret this, we're going to say that weight or math test scores increase by 0.178 when weight increases by 1 pound. Okay, so we're saying that math test scores increase by 0.178 when the weight increases by 1 pound. So generally the slope is talking about the amount by which the dependent variable increases when the independent variable increases by 1 unit. So in this case, every time we increase weight by 1 pound, the scores increase by 0.178. Okay, so the y-intercept in this case is negative 5.645. Now the Y-intercept is supposed to give us an idea of the starting point or the value of the dependent variable when the independent variable is 0. So if you look at this situation, you are going to notice that weight should not be 0. So it doesn't really make sense in this case to have a y-intercept of negative 5.645. Why? Because the weight cannot be 0. So again, the y-intercept is telling us the value of the dependent variable when the independent variable is 0. In this particular case, it's trying to tell us the math test scores or the scores you get in your math test when weight is 0, but weight cannot be 0. Weight being 0 means that that person doesn't exist. Okay, so in this case it doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's just put the value of the dependent variable when the independent variable is 0. Okay, so in this case, let's put it right here. In this case, it is negative and does not make sense because weight cannot be 0. Okay, so can we make predictions using the equation that we got? Yes, we can do that. If weight is 150, math test score should be what? So what we are going to do is that we are going to apply this equation. Just substitute 150 for weight and find out what the math test score is going to be. So in this particular case, we are going to go to the graphing calculator. So we have our slope as 0.1. Let's go up here so we can look at it and see it. See the equation 0.17. Oh, that is 0.178 times 150, and then minus 5.645. Okay, so it's 21.055. so when weight is 150, the math test scores is 21.055. Okay, so I want you to take a look at the second problem. If math test score is 48, find the weight. So in this case, we are given the dependent variable and we're looking for the independent variable. So all you need to do is just to plug in and do your math, and that will give you what you need. So I want you to practice with weight versus IQ, see the relationship and be able to answer each of these questions, and also do the last part of the problem, which is predictions. One more thing we need to do is to do a scatter plot. To do scatter plot, all you need to do is to go to second y equals. You're going to see plots. I'm going to select plot number 1. When you come here, the first thing you do is to turn it on. I'm going to turn it on. You can see scatter plot. The very first one that is shaded is the scatter plot. And of course you have other things. You have the histogram, you have the box plots. So to do that, we already have L1. We're going to do scatter plot for L1, which is weight, and the L2, which is math test scores. So once you have turned it on and you are sure that scatter plot is selected, you are going to do zoom 9. So this is what you have. You can see the scatter plot. The dots represent the scatter plots, and you can see that a line is drawn because we already, if you go to y force, I told you that the equation is going to be in y1. We did that. So once you compute the equation, the equation will be transferred to y1 if you do that when you are doing the computation. Okay, if I erase that and I go back to graph, there will be no line anymore. So this is what you have. Okay, so to do any plots, second y equals, turn it on. You can select any graph, anything you want. So in this case, I want to find do a scatter plot for L1 and L3. Let's see what they are. L1 is weight and IQ is L3. So it's still a scatter plot. So I am going to go down to L1 and change Y list to L3, which is now going to be IQ. To do that, all you need to do is a second 3. Once you do second 3, changes to L3. So now I'm doing scatter plot for weight and IQ. So once you're done, again do zoom 9 and you are going to see the scatter plot. Okay, zoom 9, that's the scatter plot. Okay, you can see that this is a negative relationship, because the graph, the dots are going down from left to right. Okay, next time we are going to do something else. Thank you so much. Bye bye.